Hey guys, Randy here with Ransom Shield, and today we're going to discuss how to back up to an external hard drive that is smaller than the internal drive that we're trying to back up. So you may run into this issue if you've got more data on your system drive than you have space on your external drive. So I've got our Ransom Shield installation process started, and the first question we're going to be asked is, do we want to perform a full system backup or do we want to back up just data? So let's go ahead and take the default and select next. Next question is, do we want to back up to an external drive or do we want to back up to an image file? So let's stick with our defaults here. And the software has identified that we have an external Realtek 500 gigabyte USB drive, and it's pre-selected, so we can just click next. And here we've got all the various backup options that we can select. So we'll just go ahead and take the defaults and click next. And here we're asked if we want to create a data vault, so we'll just click next and stick with our defaults. And now Ransom Shield is going to identify the data that's on the source drive, and it's going to determine that we don't have enough space on the external drive. So we're going to go ahead and do a scan of the internal drive here. And it's going to identify all the data that's available that we can exclude. And with this screen, it's going to tell us that the size of our source data is 486.3 gigabytes. Our target drive only has 476.9 gigabytes available, and we need to exclude just under 10 gigabytes. Now you don't see this screen if the backup drive is large enough for the backup. So in our example here, we only need to exclude 10 gigabytes of data. So it's really easy to do that just by excluding our Windows temp folders. So the system has identified that there's almost 31 gigabytes worth of items like Windows cache folders, internet temp files. So all we need to do is select this checkbox and we'll exclude all of these folders from the backup process. Now what we want to do here is in our graphic here, we've identified the 486.3 gigabytes that will get backed up currently, and we just need to make exclusions so the backup will fit. So if we click this checkbox, we'll see that our bar is actually inside the hard drive, and that lets us know that we've excluded enough data. And our next button becomes enabled. Now if we want to exclude more data, the software has identified all the libraries that are available for exclusion. And you can see there's a lot of data here, but if we select any of these checkboxes, we can exclude our videos, we can exclude our downloads, and you'll notice that as we check these boxes for exclusion, the totals for our exclusion are added up here, and then our bar also travels to the left there to free up more space on the backup drive. Now if we want to have a few more options for excluding data, we can click Advanced Folder and File Selection, and you'll see that in addition to our libraries here, we also have access to any of the drives that are on the system drive. And this allows us to exclude all the data from our C drive. So if you select everything that's available for exclusion, you're basically creating what we like to call a minimal boot drive. So that means that everything that's available for exclusion that can possibly be excluded without rendering the drive non-bootable has been selected. So the software has identified all of the folders and the files that are critical to booting, and those aren't available for exclusion. So you'll also notice here that if we take a look at our C drive, there's no Windows folder here. So Windows folder, System32, all of the stuff that's critical for the system being able to boot isn't available for exclusion. We also don't allow excluding programs. So our minimal boot drive will have the operating system and all of your applications. You'll also notice here that we can exclude unneeded partitions, and we can also empty the recycle bin as part of the backup process. So at this point, let's go ahead and click Next. And we're going to go ahead and display what the new drive configuration looks like. And you'll see here that now that we're excluding all of this data, that we're only going to use 160 gigabytes of data on the backup drive. So there's a lot of free space here. And if we click Next, let's not do anything with encryption. And at this point, it's going to tell us that we're now going to back up to our Realtek external hard drive that's 500 gigabytes. And it's asking us to confirm that yes, this is the drive we want to back up to. And we click Next, and it's going to go ahead and start the partitioning and formatting process. And then next we'll back up all of the data from the internal drive to the external drive minus the exclusions we selected. So that's about it, and thanks for watching.